Welcome back to another Breaking Down the Bible. Today is Monday, which means we are going to be talking about a saint. Today's saint is Saint Catherine of Siena. So, Catherine and her twin sister, died as a baby, but they were born in the year 1347. And she was the 25th sibling in her family. So she was, and a lot of those, almost half of those did not make it. So her family did not have a great track record with keeping babies alive. But at a very young age, she showed her devotion. So she prayed, she did very religious acts, like she would go up the stairs on her knees while saying a prayer on each step. She would pray very, very intensely. At a very young, at 6 years old, she would do this before the age of 6. Very interesting. Speaking of age 6, that is when, on the way back from a church, she saw Jesus Christ wearing a royal bishop clothing on a throne, and St. Peter, Paul, and John in the sky. Christ blessed her with the sign of the cross and smiled to her. So she saw this vision up in the sky. She was very devoted to not just God, but to her family here on earth as well. She would take care of them. She would love them. She would do everything for them. She pledged chastity to the Lord, but her parents forced her into an arranged marriage, or forced her to. They were trying to get her. Her sister died in childbirth, which caused her parents to want the marriage even more. Catherine was so opposed to this that she cut off her hair and started to fast out of protest. She was fascinated with this group of nuns. So in 1363, Catherine joined a group of Dominican sisters. She pledged herself with a spiritual marriage to Christ. And one day, during a prayer, Jesus, Mother Mary, St. Paul, St. John, and King David came to her, and Jesus placed a ring on her finger. The ring was not able to be seen by anyone but her. I want to talk about this, because when I was researching, I thought, do I believe this happened? Yes. Are there atheists? Atheists definitely don't think it happened. Are there even Catholics that don't think it happened? Are there even Christians that don't think it happened? And the answer is yes, of course. Why do people get so distant from these ideas? They act as they're so crazy because they're just like, oh yeah, Jesus came and put an invisible ring on her finger. And you're just supposed to like, wait, what? And then you're confused and you're like, that didn't happen. And then you like push it out of your mind. My problem with the modern Catholic Church is that either they take these ideas that did happen and say they didn't happen, or they take ideas that did happen, say they happened, but do it in such a nonchalant way that then followers say it didn't happen. So I want to break down this. What does this mean? A ring. Is it an actual ring she just looks down? It's a symbol of her devotion to Christ. She pledged chastity. She became spiritual marriage to Christ. And that was the ring solidifying that. That was the symbol of attachment before that. That's what that vision represented. Catherine was very helpful and charitable to the poor and to the sick. And when a plague came across her hometown, pretty much everyone just left, got up and left. But her and her followers, they stayed and they helped people there. They helped do things from burying the dead to caring for the sick. A big thing that she did, which is the last thing we're going to touch on, is she was disgusted by the corruptness in the church and blamed what she called the Babylonian captivity. So the story was, due to rising politics in the early 14th century, the papacy moved to France and adopted French lifestyles and politics, which were very corrupt in nature. And people did not appreciate the fact that moving the papacy to France divorced the church from the Holy Land of Rome, its origin. So Catherine wrote a letter to the Pope asking him to please move back to Rome. And after Catherine met with the Pope in France, the Pope, Gregory XI, moved back to Rome, which was a huge win for Catherine and more, I guess you could call, conservative Catholics at the time. And her death happened when all of a sudden she collapsed on the floor with a sick-looking skin, and on her deathbed she focused on the crucifix, giving herself to God. She was canonized by Pope Pius II, and the rest is history. That's how she goes along with the greats, some of the most famous saints and figures in all of Catholicism. Thank you so much for listening. Hope to see you in the next one.